What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's a boy Ryan LFC back again, guys. Another top shelf video for you guys today. Of my boy from New York in USA. You know a lot about the United States, so why not have him on the channel and talk about this prediction lineup for the USMNT national team? How are you doing today, my brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Just excited for the USA, man. Excited. It's gonna be
I
good.
am super excited to have you on the channel to give me your thought on the US. But last World Cup, United States missing out. United was in a rebuilding situation. You have a lot of key players not in this current setup, United States, and a lot of great player overseas right now. You have from Juventus, great midfielder. What do you say? The right back from FC Barcelona and
That-
Christian Pulisic, Borussia Dortmund. The US national team is generation of talent right now. What do you guys think USA need to do to make it back to the next World Cup?
To make it back to the next World Cup, I believe we need to start playing more of our European players versus our homegrown players here in the MLS. Because I felt like that was our problem back in 2018 qualifiers for that World Cup that we missed. So now we have more European talent. They're more exposed to higher rated competition, and that's going to help us get back to the World Cup in 2022.
Definitely. I agree with you, but sometimes they say the local player is much better for the national team because they can play more together and as a system. But
Mm-hmm.
taking player from Spain, Belgium, England is very hard to combine, especially if you are not Brazil, Germany, England. They have a lot of quality, but USA and Mexico they have quality just like America and United, USA, just like Mexico and the rest of team in Europe.
Yeah, yeah. I think it is difficult, but if we're trying to achieve um, higher success than the U.S. has had, we're going to have to follow the blueprint of, say, a team like Germany or Spain or things like that. So
Definitely. How do you think the United States would line up for the 2022 World Cup?
for me, I think as a striker, Josh Sargent should be our striker, and that's right now because he's currently playing Werder Bremen. So I think in Europe, Pulisic on the left wing, he's on Chelsea, the man, Captain America. On the right wing, I think the young kid from Valencia, Yunus Musa, I probably messed up his name, but I think he has a lot of promise, and he's already playing in La Liga, and I think that's a huge for a young American player, and we want to steal him away from England. So I think he'd be great at the right wing. As far as like my midfielders go, I'd do a 4-3-3, by the way. So I'd put Gio Reyna in more of an attacking central midfielder position. Also a very young player, but he's playing in a top level club at Borussia Dortmund, and he's supplying assists to one of the best strikers in the world, Erling Haaland, right now. So I think that's one of my guys. Tyler Adams from Leipzig, who plays in Bundesliga, has had great success in the Bundesliga as well as Champions League games from last year. I love him in the midfield. And my favorite guy, and I think the best American player as of right now, I think is Weston McKennie. I think that guy's going to be our captain because you see him play on Juve, and he just doesn't stop running. He gives it his all. He's playing with Cristiano Ronaldo. He's playing in the top league in Serie A. That's my man. Those three guys in midfield. As far as my defense goes, my two center backs who I would put in the national team is Brooks from Berlin, Union Berlin. He's been a good defender, solid defender, been in Europe his whole career. And I put Miazga, who plays in the Belgian league at the moment. And I'm not too crazy about this pick, but I just think he does. Every time I've seen him play for the national team, he always gives it his all, and he he plays really well, I feel like, with the national team. Maybe his club level is not as great. On a national team, he gives it his all. I saw a couple games with him. And then against Mexico, which Mexico USA gets fiery, he was all in. For my right back, I'm going to go with Serginho Dest, the man from Barcelona. We all talked about him this summer, and he still got some work to do in defense, but man, can that guy go on the right wing, like easy. I love that guy. I think he's getting better, and he's young as well, so he's only going to progress more and more as 2022 comes up. For my left back, I would go with Anthony Robinson, who plays on Fulham in the Premier League. And I think he has a lot of promise. Also, another young player who I think is only going to get better as time goes on. And for the goalkeeper, the man from Manchester City, the backup, I'll say, but he's on Manchester City. They obviously recognize his talent. He's had games that he played with Man City, and he's done an exceptional job. So I would go. That would be my starting 11 for the US.
When you look at this starting level, this is a great starting level. Previously, United States have most of their players playing the MLS. This is not the case. This is level every single player playing overseas. Germany, Spain, Italy, Bundesliga. So you see the impact the United States can make this next year in the World Cup and in the Gold Cup and the CONCACAF. They have a big roster of players. And United States supposed to be happy right now, or the national team. I'm not saying they're going to win the World Cup. They probably can make it to the semi-final or the quarterfinal. United States always perform very good when it comes on to the World Cup.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I'm not sure if we're ready to win the World Cup in 2022, but I definitely think we can compete, make it for sure, to get out of the embarrassment of 2018. You know, now we're playing European players. We got a bunch of guys in Europe now. There are young kids in Europe, you know, starting to play in a bunch of different clubs. And I think 2026 is when the World Cup comes to USA. And I think that's when all these young guys, the guys that I just talked about, are going to be much, much better, much more mature, that they're going to be great in 6 years. And
they're going to be at home too.
At home. And then
that's
that fighting American spirit.
That's going to be a lot of talent for United States. And what do you think of the success of this generation of young players? Would you put it down to the former national coach, German? What kind of impact he's made for so much? When you look at it, a lot of USA players going to the German national in Bundesliga. Do you think with the former German national coach said, listen, United States player need to think to play at the highest level. In Europe, they need to go on more abroad instead of the MLS. Jurgen Klinsmann, what kind of impact he made as US national coach?
I think Jurgen Klinsmann was the first guy to really tell the federation what it needed to do. And they didn't want to do it at the time because they knew they didn't have the players yet. So it was almost like for the federation, I think, like they almost took his comments kind of offensive. But I think what Jurgen Klinsmann said is exactly correct. We need players in Europe. We need them to go to Europe. We need them to develop with their strategies, their methods, everything, all that sort of stuff. Because here in the MLS, we're still quite a bit away from reaching that talent, that amount of talent, that reputation. And I think Jurgen Klinsmann was the first guy to really come out and say, hey, we're not going to do anything with these MLS players. So we need to develop outside, in Europe.
He is right. He's right. And I always say he's a very good coach for the United States. But unfortunately, the crop of players we're coming up through is not a wide range of like the German national team when he once coach. I am a German supporter. So I know Jurgen Klinsmann is an excellent coach, but he do not have the talent like Germany have the talent. So he automatically going to definitely fail at United States. Not saying you should do much more better. You should do much more better with the United States because when you look at it, CONCACAF is not very strong. You have United States, you have Mexico, you have Honduras, you have Costa Rica, you have Panama, you have Haiti, you have Jamaica. So I think with the crop of player he has, he should do much better in CONCACAF. More than when him go to Europe, people should expect a lot more from Jurgen Klinsmann. But as I said, the Gold Cup coming up is a big year for United States. It's a big year for the CONCACAF. It's going to be crucial for the World Cup qualifier in September. That's going to be very crucial. And I am from Jamaica, but I live in Canada, and I want to see Jamaica and Canada make it to the World Cup. It's going to be very tough to push out Mexico and USA, but I wouldn't mind either Mexico or USA don't go to the World Cup.
Hey, man. Technically, I'm Mexican heritage, but I wouldn't mind them not going either.
So you don't want Canada and Jamaica?
Well, I do want Canada, and because not that I don't want Jamaica or anything, but Canada, I do want to see like the top players like Davies, and then this Jonathan David kid from, I think it's Lille.
Lille.
Yeah, and he plays really well, and I just think that's the beautiful part about North America now. It's CONCACAF. It's starting to get more competitive, and the more competitive it gets on this part of the world, USA will only get better because they will need to get better because countries like Jamaica and Canada will also increase their ability to play, and they're going to make the USA have to get better no matter what. Because Mexico and USA have always been the two who fight for this part of the region for CONCACAF. So imagine having to play against two more teams. It's just more competition, makes it better for the country. National
Definitely.
team.
And the Canadian national team, they have some good crop of player. The last time they have a great team is in the 2000. But this time around, when you look at it, they lost to Jamaica 3 years ago in the quarterfinal. They lost to Haiti a year ago in the Gold Cup. When it really matters, when it come on to the crunch time, Canada always buckle. I don't know if they come under pressure or they can live up to it. But you have some football team like that. When the pressure, when they go and get tough and they're supposed to win, they lost. And that's the biggest problem with Canadian. And also, Canada have their own league now. So that going to more benefit for the Canada national team. So it's good looking good in CONCACAF. I hope CONCACAF team can put themselves on the market, put up a really good fight in the World Cup coming in 2022 in Qatar.
I hope so too, man. Hope so too.
Definitely. But guys, I just want to tell you thank you very much for watching, and also go and subscribe to my brother channel. Tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram. I'm under Dylan Monroy Show, and you can also find me on YouTube, just under my name, Dylan Monroy. And then
Twitter.
No Twitter yet.
Okay. But guys, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, from my boy Ryan LFC, I like to say peace out. Don't move.